the shores of Lake Superior, and it is coming down. Woo! Oh boy! Whoa! This is a storm. You're like Jim Cantori out here. And I'll tell you what, it's coming down thick. Finally, this is why I came up here. And look at that, I've finally got some snow in my stash. Feel like a real local when you get snow in your stash. Means hardcore, means you're from here. I'm on the banks of Lake Superior. We'd been on this Great Lakes road trip for almost 2 weeks to that point, and I hadn't seen anything close to what it's like up here in the winter. Till that morning, that was just crazy. It's usually like this every day up here in the winter, but this was rare this year. So rare that people were gathered in their cars to watch this squall come in that day. They were looking at me like I was crazy. But I was like, I don't get to see this very often. So there you go, YouTube. Holy shit. We are in Marquette, Michigan. The end of the world. This is up north. The UP, eh? If you've never been to Michigan's Upper Peninsula, well, you're not alone. A lot of people have never even heard of the place. It's the wild land, the great unknown. Well, we're going to get to know it right now. I spent 6 days up here in the middle of 2024's winter, and 3 of those days were right here in Marquette. I've been up here a lot before, but that was way before I was a big YouTube star. Back when I was just a little pup. I've always wanted to come back up here and show you guys what the place is all about. This was the 1 week on the entire trip where I actually saw winter. And it was wonderful. Yeah, I'm in the back of the truck, and we're in Marquette, and we're on our way to another bar. Oh yeah, hanging out, bar crawling. We are rolling dirty, and it's cold, and I don't care, because that's what we do up in here. Okay, I was kind of buzzed up that night, and looking back, that was kind of dumb. But I was fired up. They were like, let's go to the next bar. And we'd already been at 3. They're like, we don't have any room. Nick, hop in the back. I was like, all right, I'll ride in the back of the truck on a 13-degree night. Woo! But that's how it is up here. Going out to the bars is kind of what everyone here does. And I did a lot of that for research purposes, sacrificing my health for YouTube views. Marquette, Michigan. The end of the world. Uperland. So where in the Michigan are we? We're here. Way up here on Michigan's Upper Peninsula. We're just across Lake Superior from Canada. It's the biggest city on this peninsula, but there's only 20,000 people in town. Came up here because it's a wonderful small town, and it's the perfect way to show you how people up here live. Call these people Yoopers. That's an endearing term taken from the initials UP, Upper Peninsula. See? Now I'm going to get to just what this whole Yooper lifestyle is like in the next video when I explore the rest of the peninsula. Marquette's a much more subdued version of life up here. The whole area up here has this small town, conservative, sensible vibe to it. Marquette's a more subdued version of life up here. Kind of the only place where alternative viewpoints are accepted and where people are a little bit more laid back. Driving around Marquette, it can feel very insular. Everyone seems to know everyone else up here. Newcomers might feel a little ostracized at first. And this is probably the most welcoming place on this entire peninsula. Check this out. It's the only place liberals roam the entire land up here. As far as you can see in all directions from here, it is red. Red, red, red. Marquette's a college town. Sorta. The University of Northern Michigan's here. But that's not what really defines the place. Marquette got its start because of timber and ore mining. The European settlers came in here in the 1800s to tap into the abundance of natural resources up here. And there's still a lot of that up here today. There's a big iron ore dock on Marquette's coast. That keeps a lot of people employed. From here, they move millions of tons of ore across Lake Superior down to other industrial centers like Cleveland and Pittsburgh and Buffalo. 95% of the ore mined in the U.S. comes from this part of the country. There's a lot of good paying mining and engineering jobs up here. But besides that, not a lot. Not unless you work in tourism or at the damn bar, or you know how to make chainsaw sculptures. Downtown Marquette is a gem. Little slice of America. I've been up here in the summer a couple times. They got this big patriotic 4th of July parade. And then they have to light the fireworks off the docks at midnight because that's when it gets dark up here in the summer. In the winter, though, things are much more subdued. Yeah, making tracks now. Boy, have things changed this afternoon. Now, if you've been following along, you're aware that this is the third stop on my Great Lakes road trip. The whole reason I planned the trip was to show you guys how people in this region get through these brutal winters you hear about. But up until now, the winter had been mild. Every place I went to before and after the UP, they were seeing record warm temps and record low snow. It was crazy. Everyone was like, this is great. Well, I was like, this sucks. Where's the bad weather? Where's the snow? I didn't come to see this. But we got a little bit of that. Here you go. When I was here, the place was just wild. Every day I was here, there was snow. I was like, finally. A lot of times, snowstorm would just move in out of nowhere. Every day, they were saying, no snow, partly cloudy. But it dumped every day. That's just how it is up here. Holy crap. You're going to take a nap and come outside. We got about an inch or two on the ground in about an hour. And they said it wasn't even going to snow today. But it did, and it is. God. That might be 3 inches. Man. There's so much snow coming down, I can't fly the drone. I tried to get the drone up, and the damn thing wouldn't come down because of the snow updraft or something. I don't know. It was coming down real slow. So no drone. Marquette's right on the edge of the lake, so the place gets dumped on with lake effect snow. We're talking 3 feet at a time. I heard stories of friends that said in college they used to jump off their roofs into the snow. It gets that high. Some say Marquette's the snowiest place in the country. They get 13 feet a year on average. To get so much snow, they got to get on top of their homes and shovel it off, or their house will collapse. No shit. They're called Yooper Scoopers. And then there's the cold. They have to put additives in their fuel to prevent their fuel lines from freezing. A lot of people here have engine warmers hooked up to their cars. Raining ice with 50-mile-an-hour winds. Roads that are slick. You fall down trying to get in your car. So, yeah, it's brutal. Only a certain type of people can live through all this. I thought it was wonderful, because I don't have to live here all year.
Go Cats, go cheer. So we're going to do it on 3. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Go Cats, go. Thanks, Walt. Have a good night, everybody.
So the whole reason that we even came up to Marquette was they have this big sled dog race up here every February. I was like, well, we should go to that. And then I'm like, well, we should show the rest of the area up there too. If we're going to go up there, we should show winter and the Great Lakes area in general. So this UP 200, it's an annual sled dog race. They start downtown Marquette and they travel out throughout the region for 200 miles and then they come back here at the end. It's a really big deal. They've been doing it forever. But a couple weeks before I got here, they announced the race is canceled, everyone. We don't have enough snow. It was only the second time in race history that they canceled it. The other time was last year. Well, I was pretty bummed. And a lot of people up here were worried because they're like, well, what's our future winter life going to be like? I mean, we keep canceling the race. What's that mean for our tourist season and for our local businesses? And, you know, we kind of like the cold. That's why we're here. These winters are getting kind of oddly warm lately. Huh, everyone? Is that our future? Well, there's no race, but everybody's out here anyway. We're all having a good time. Well, global warming believers or not, it's clear that things are changing up here. Nobody knows for how long, but it's a thing.
I'm doing this all on my own.
Anyways, they were supposed to have a sled dog race. And they're like, well, we're still going to have a big festival downtown anyway. The race is canceled, but everybody come down. And comically, the night that the race was supposed to be held, it snowed a lot. I was like, you guys could have had the race. And they're like, no, we needed to plan it all out. But it was pretty funny that the race got canceled because no snow. And they got about half a foot the night of the event. So everybody was in a good mood. They all turned out to drink and listen to music. Race or no race, we're going to celebrate. Total small town fun. How hard is it to do this for 200 miles?
the biggest thing that kind of gets you at that point is the sleep deprivation, because you're going into a checkpoint and you only have maybe like 4 hours, and in that time it's like you got to take care of the dogs, you got to take care of yourself, and you want to get rest before you're on the trail again. And just doing that back to back to back, the dogs can do it fine. They'll go to sleep, they'll wake up, they'll be ready to go, but it takes a lot of toll on the musher for sure. So the UP200 is kind of nice because you can still have a crew. It's not, Iditarod where you're just all on your own. But if you're doing it as an Iditarod qualifier, you do have to do one checkpoint.
Why do you do this? Why do you think this is so fun?
For me, the biggest thing's the bond with the animals. It's gotten me really into dog training in general and other dog sports, but it's really that trust, especially with, every musher's got their good, hard leaders that they trust, and it's like, somebody else might run them, they might listen okay, but when you have that strong bond with them, it's like you can get them to break trail for you. So basically there'll be no trail there, and you call them, and then they'll go anyway, and it's like that trust you have where it's like they know you're telling them the right place to go, and then you're trusting them to take you to the right place. And I feel like for me that's the big part where we think about it. Like any other sport, it's not quite the same.
Yeah.
Hey Wolfie, you want to say hi?
Hi, Wolfie.
Oh, yes, you want to say hi.
For dinner that night, we began at the Portside Inn, right downtown. Everyone was feeling festive and dressed up for the occasion. Kind of reminded me of what I'd see in those small towns in the Midwest when they have those winter holiday festivals, or the groundhog comes out and looks at his shadow. I had a Labatt's and some local whitefish. It was, And then afterwards, my manager decided to try the sled hill that was supposed to be for kids. Oh. What? What happened? Well, I got what I wanted. It's about 19 degrees out here at the celebration for the sled dog race. And it's cold. Real cold. And everyone's just kind of hanging out, and we're all just enjoying winter up here. And I tell you what, I don't miss the cold, but it's nice to come up and occasionally. My hands are freezing. Time to wrap it up for the night, folks. Whew. We only got about 3 inches, but it felt like a foot. That's how it is up here. You never know what you're gonna get. The Great Lakes Tour continues from Marquette, Michigan. The next morning, it was even colder. It's 8 degrees this morning. That's right, 8 a.m. and 8 degrees. And that person's running. God, I guess you gotta do it at some point. Good for her. Not fun. Most of Marquette's a simple life. Here's what an average neighborhood looks like in here. A lot of this stuff's in the 250K range. Pretty good for 250, right? Looks great. Very affordable for simple living. It's a close-knit community up here. Everybody knows each other. They all get along for the most part. Crime's really low, beyond your normal crackhead shit that happens in town. Bet you have that anywhere these days. There's been 3 murders here in the last 20 years. You can bet that whenever somebody acts up, everybody in town knows who it is. And then down the road, this is what would be considered the cheapest part of Marquette. Again, not too bad. You can get a house on this street for $170K. Looks pretty good for the cheap side of town, huh? And they say there's nothing affordable left. Phooey. I'm pretty sure that every single person who lives in Marquette's going to be pissed when they see this video. And they see that I'm showing you how nice it is and how cheap it is. Stay out. We're full. I'm sure they're thinking. Well, you ain't. You just have to have thick bones and a hearty liver to make a go of it up here. The liver part's probably more important. I'll tell you that.
This is my type of place. If I lived here, I'd shoot a bear and a moose every day. Maybe even a trespasser.
Well, I don't think you can shoot a moose, Mappy. I think they're protected. But I get you. You and I both like this rugged part of America.
These people make sense. Look how clean it is. Why can't the rest of the country be nice and safe and quiet anymore? Now it's all squatters and illegals.
Well, I think you might have a future in local politics, Mappy. You're talking local sensibilities. Kind of makes you wonder why so many of us want to live in big cities and put up with all the drama and BS. Everybody's got to be so busy, busy, busy. It's all about work and fancy like, eh? Everybody up here splits their time between the bars and the outdoors. Hiking, fishing, hunting, skiing. Hockey's huge. That right there is called the Superior Dome. It's the biggest wooden dome in the world. This is where the NMU hockey and football teams play. Holy shit. Holy shit, this is crazy. Biggest wooden dome in the world. They have won all kinds of awards in that dome. Volleyball, and of course hockey. That's what everybody loves to come watch, is some NMU hockey. Marquette even has its own little ski resort. It's called Marquette Mountain. It's pretty tiny, but that's okay. Nobody around here wants this place to get all corporate anyways. It's fine for them. If you don't like it, if it ain't big enough for you, go somewhere else. So I explored a little bit around Marquette when I was here a little bit. I'm going to show you a lot more of the area in another video coming up. But up the road from Marquette is a little town called Big Bay. That's where that ice fishing derby was held that I showed you earlier. Look at this place. Teeny little streets where people share their backyards, share their beer, share their lives. Hearty, honest folks who have who knows what for their careers. But it's cheap. If you want a place to retire and you can tolerate all this snow, there's little off-the-radar places like this all over the region. This is just one of them. I think there's 100 big bays on this peninsula. Now this little town's booming. Well, relatively. 5 years ago, there were only a couple hundred folks in town. Now there's almost 600 people here. But that's not normal up here. I think one of the biggest issues up here in the UP isn't too many people coming, it's people leaving. The state of Michigan's losing people, folks. It ranks 49th in population growth, ahead of only West Virginia. Yeah. And up here in Uperland, it's pretty bad. In the 1920s, there were 332,000 people. Well, losing 32,000 people in 100 years, it's not noticeable, but it's accelerating. People are dying off, and there's less people coming up here to fill their place. Especially young people. America's soft youth, they can't handle this. They don't want this shit. It's too cold. The cell service is slow. I don't want to mine or be a lumberjack or get my hands dirty. Hell no. I just want to sit at home and work 3 days a week. The only thing that stopped the population loss up here for a little bit was COVID. A lot of people wanted to stay away from each other, and to hell with wearing masks. So a lot of people flocked up here, and some of them kind of stuck around. But driving around up here, you see businesses are closing down. And a lot of mom and pops, they have a hard time finding somebody to run the place. These days, you got to drive further and further to get groceries, or chainsaw parts, or bullets. But not beer. There's plenty of bars open. My favorite part of Big Bay was the Lumberjack Tavern. My kind of place, you know me. A locals-only dive bar meets diner where they have dead animals on the walls, chainsaws hanging down. And look, the place is famous. Ever heard of that show, Anatomy of a Murder? Well, it was based on an event that happened here in 1952. A man shot and killed the owner of this place after his wife accused the guy of rape. And there's where his body laid on the restaurant floor. Right there. I treated 3 of my managers to some beers and cheese curds. Sitting around, listening to the local gossip, checking out the local style. And snowmobiling is a big deal up here, and they got all the stickers to prove it. Snowmobile Central. And there's no chew in the urinal. I'm surprised by that. Here at the Lumberjack Tavern, Saturday afternoon, and people ride their sleds up to the bar. That's a big thing up here. I wish I had a sled to ride to the bar. Some people up here call Big Bay a rough and tumble sawmill town. Well, it probably was back in the day. That's the Thunder Bay Inn. Totally famous hotel. Henry Ford actually had a place in there. He and his wife lived here for a while. He was investing in timber production, and they made stuff like bowling pins and wood for the sides of cars. Henry Ford Suite. Oh, Henry. They even shot a movie here. It was called Anatomy of a Murder. Here's the ice fishing derby that I showed you. It took place here in Big Bay. The tournament was supposed to be last weekend, but the lake wasn't frozen over enough to get people out there. But I was lucky though, and so were they. They had a little cold snap that moved in, and they got enough ice to safely allow people out there. Everyone's got their fish. Everyone's got their beer too. You got a haul there?
Oh yeah, have a fishing trap.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can I see inside, or is it?
Yeah.
You got it all covered up?
I got everything all covered up. Just all my fishing junk.
You got your fish in there?
Oh, I got some back here, yeah.
All right. I'm doing like a YouTube video. Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, sure.
So what's going on out here? What are we doing?
The Big Bay Ice Fishing Derby in Lake Independence.
All right.
Yeah.
So what kind of fish are those?
Perch.
So you think you got a chance to win?
I don't know.
No, not with
No,
those.
I'm more just here for the eating.
Yeah.
Yep, just eaters.
Right. We are out on the ice. I was told we didn't have enough ice for this, but oh boy, we do. It sure was cold that day. I could barely feel my hands and my toes. Well, I'm a rookie. Felt to me like I was recording inside my freezer. You come up here in the summer, it's completely different. People are out on their boats. They only get 2 months of true summer up here, so they take advantage of it.
You got a few guys in here. They're.
So you got more than one in there?
Oh yeah, there's more than one.
Okay, you got your hole here. How thick is the ice right now?
7-8 inches probably.
All right, because I was told the ice wasn't thick enough for fishing.
Last weekend it was.
It was not.
bad.
So that's why it's this week, because it froze
Right.
over again?
Yep.
All right. So how do you determine where your spot is? Just sort of.
40 years.
Oh, you know this is the spot?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What is
Everybody's
it?
kind of got their own hole and their own spot. So
Okay.
just fishing out here for a while, you kind of figure out what spots work and what doesn't. So.
Yeah.
And then you cross your fingers a lot. That's about it.
Yeah. Have you guys caught anything today, or?
Nothing legal. A couple small northern pike.
No. Okay. So it's basically just fishing and drinking beer and hanging out. Is that what we're doing?
You got it.
Camaraderie, yeah.
Yeah.
You bet.
All right.
Tradition.
What kind of values do people have up here?
You can leave your cars unlocked and your doors unlocked. Your house, you don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
Crime is what?
was your
Crime
answer
is
again?
what? It really is.
Great place to be able to get outside and get away from people if you want to get away from people. So,
Yeah.
that's what we like. You
Yeah.
don't have to worry about it so much.
That's why people are.
Hunting right now.
Did you guys move up here, or were you born?
Here.
Okay.
I moved up. I'm originally from Kalamazoo area.
Yeah.
I came up to go to Northern and then graduated, and I got married right after we graduated and moved back to Kalamazoo for 2 years, and thought, no, you gotta drive an hour to go to the beach. You gotta, drive an hour to go skiing or mountain biking or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I said, no, we're coming right back. My wife's from Lee, so
Yeah.
and we've been back here since 2004. So
Good.
A while.
All right.
And our kids are here, and they don't want to go anywhere else. Everywhere else doesn't have. Everywhere else is dry. They don't have lakes like we do,
Mhm.
fresh water,
Mm-hmm.
fun things to do. So
Yeah.
The resources.
the resources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hanging out, rolling around, old school UP life. When I was in Marquette, I really got after it. You kind of have to up here. Everyone else does. I'm cold, but I'm doing this for YouTube. What else am I going to do? Sit in the hotel room? Trudge around the snow? You got to get to know what's going on. You got to spend time with the locals, people. And it's very easy to drink your face off when you're in this part of Michigan. It's in their DNA up here. It's their social glue. You got to get out of the house in the winter. Downtown Marquette, Michigan. Ain't nobody around. Seems very dead, right? It's empty. Where's everybody at? They're at the third base bar, which is fucking packed. Holy shit, everybody's in town. The social life here ranges from family-friendly places like Vango's to the super busy dive bars like the Third Base, where you're yelling like this the whole night. That's what you do. I drank a lot of Labatts when I was up here. You know, since we're practically in Canada, eh? The Wooden Nickel might be the best dive bar in all of Uperland. Of course, everybody watches hockey up here. It is a big deal up here. Hockey players are tough and gritty and rough around the edges. I think that's why the people up here identify with hockey so much, because they're like that too. Every place you go to up here has hockey on in the winter. This is the Ordock Brewing Company in downtown. A lot of people told me I needed to come by here and try their craft beer. And boy, do they love their craft beer in Michigan. Love it. I think Michigan's top 5 in the country for craft beer. And then after that, we went to the 906 Sports Bar and Grill. And more hockey. And more Labatts for me. I don't like that craft beer shit. And then more Labatts after that. Man, this place can really wear you out if you let it. And look, this time they had something that wasn't hockey on. In 3 days of below 20 degrees temperature, it starts to grow on you. Stepping outside, you get a breath of fresh, clean, cold air. Kind of feels good. You just kind of get used to it. It's America. The old Wagoneer's pretty dirty. Yep, might be the dirtiest rental car I've ever had. You just deal with the dirt and the grime. You don't worry about cleaning your car. Nope. Dirtier the better. Saturday morning. Usually there's not a lot of people out Saturday mornings, especially when it's less than 10 degrees. I don't blame them. These people are tough, I tell you. They're hardy. It was damn cold that day. God. I met this dude in the hotel parking lot. And I was real jelly of that hat. You know me. Then he let me try it on. Wish he didn't. I wanted that hat so bad. He told me he got it for cheap in Afghanistan one time. My managers and I spent 3 days at the Superior Stay Hotel on 3rd Street when we were in town. Right in the middle of it all, blocks from the NMU campus, and you can walk to a lot of the bars and restaurants when you're here too. Thanks, everyone at Superior Stay Hotel. We had a blast in your cool lounge. And then there's the lake. Remember this from earlier? Somebody told me, hey, when you're up there by the lake, when it's a bad storm coming in, you might see people surfing out there. So I went up there looking for that. I was like, if there's people surfing in this storm, that'll be amazing. Well, I didn't see that. I hear that a lot of people die out there on that lake. When you're up here, life feels less rushed than in busier parts of the world. I talked to a bunch of people in Marquette when I was here, and I was like, this place is wonderful. Are you guys worried that it's going to get ruined one day? And they're like, don't say that. People told me it's less hippie up here than it used to be. It's getting a little bit more built up and a little bit more corporate. The cost to live here has gone up, but it's like that everywhere now. I suppose the place could get ruined by greed and wealth, just like Traverse City, which is where I stopped before, or places like Montana, Colorado, Idaho. Whenever a place gets discovered by investors or rich second homeowners, look out. But I don't think they have to worry about too much up here. The cold tends to keep the riffraff away, and the homeless haven't found the place yet. And I don't think they have enough going on up here to draw in small town ruiners. They don't have any wineries or yacht clubs, or golf courses, or mega ski resorts. It's good to see places like this left. Old America. The way things used to be.
As far as raising a family and not worrying where your kids are or what's going on, there's no such thing as human trafficking up here that we really know of. We don't. It's a good place to raise your family.
Yeah.
Wholesome.
Yeah.
Good family values up here.
Yeah.
Everyone helps each other. I mean, it is.
Yeah.
It's a well-kept secret.
Now we're going to the next bar, and it's just one bar after another. I think I don't know where we're going. I don't know what's happening. I'm just along for the ride right now, YouTube. Are you looking to move and need advice? I do consulting. That's right. I'll sit down and talk about where the next perfect place for you and your family should be. I do it all the time. Together, let's find you a new home that's safe and checks all your boxes. And I can also help you find your new house, too. Email me and I'll work with you on not just helping you figure out where to move, but I can help you find your perfect home, too. That's right. I know awesome, reliable agents all over the country, and I'd love to connect you to somebody who can help you search for that perfect home. And by the way, if you want to learn about where you should live, you should go to my website, homesnacks.com/findyourplace. On my website, you get tips on where you should move and what the costs are and a whole lot more. It's like an AI Nick Johnson consultation for free. And if you want to buy some Mappy gear, click the store link on my homepage. From there, you can check out the latest merch. There's hoodies, coffee cups, stickers, and shirts. Show off how much you love Mappy and support the channel. And I'm on Cameo too. If you want me to send you or somebody you know a personalized video message, go to Cameo and search Nick Johnson YouTube. It's fun. Hey guys, if you learned something new about America or what it's like to live in America, great. You should think about subscribing and turning on your notifications. You can also click one of these videos or playlists for more.
Hey YouTube world, I'm Sage, Nick's manager. You've enjoyed a Corner House Entertainment production, so watch another one.